So the fellas, they suffer their 21st loss at home and their 24th under the lights. That's right. It's not how the fellas drew this one up. It's an L courtesy of those Detroit Tigers. 8-6. The final score, Carson Kelly with 2 men on. He would have been the one. If he put it out of the ballpark, it would have been a 9-8 Cubs W. However, nothing doing. The fellas now 8-9 in series openers at home, and that's your final. 8-6 Detroit. They come into enemy turf and they escape with the W. With that said, come on in. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Cole Wright, Elise Menaker, and Elise, you have to file this one in the one that got away category.
Yeah, they have a chance, and they did a good job of getting back in this game, especially when you're down 4 early. And because it was early, it gave them a chance, gave them time to get back. And then the 9th, that's what I'm talking about, key opportunities late. The Cubs just couldn't come through, and then they're trying to crawl back in the 10th, and just isn't their day.
Yeah, capitalization, that is what the fellas were not able to take advantage of. We saw that in the 9th. Seiya Suzuki not able to pull the trigger, and then that cascaded into Alex Bregman. We're going pitch by pitch here, Elise. What'd you see?
Yeah, so you're going to see that Kenley Jansen, he's on the mound, and it's not really a question of what he's going to throw, it's where he's going to throw it, because his last 19 pitches, they were all cutters, and so that's what Seiya's going to see. We're going to see Bregman as well, but notice how he's just working away to Seiya, tries to go up, and there are some good at-bats here. I mean, you have guys taking walks, and then Seiya, though, is the guy who, well, again, away, swing through it. So I mentioned taking walks, and Michael Busch, then he would do that, and then Bregman comes to the plate with bases loaded, and that is just high and tight, high. But this is also, so he gets ahead, Bregman, right? He's working his way back, but you need a pitch that is there in this situation, and Bregman is someone who doesn't bite unless it's in that zone. That one looks good in, he swings through it, and that was the key opportunity then, the last chance in the 9th that got away.
Yeah, I thought we could have been on the cusp of Kenley Jansen with his 66th career blown save, but then you think to yourself, oh, by the way, this guy is 3rd all-time in Major League Baseball when it comes to the save, Elise. He's pretty good.
Yeah, this is a guy who, you know, steps up in these situations his entire career, and so that is what happens when you've got experience. Now, it is on experience, right? Like Suzuki experience, Bregman experience, but they just can't come up with the hits in those situations. When I would say at times in this game, when they needed the big hit, when they needed the long ball, they did that, just that. It just didn't happen in the 9th. They got themselves in the situation. They just couldn't get that big knock. Yeah,
situational baseball, it's huge, and it's going to be big over these next 2 games versus Detroit right here at Wrigley Field. We'll continue to set you up for the next pair, but in the meantime, let's get to our insurance play of the game, presented by Insure on the Spot. And Ian Happ, well, we saw him put a charge in one a little late in this game. It squared the affair, and with that swing, who did he pass up on the all-time home run list for these Chicago Cubs? The one and only Hack Wilson, and that ball in absolute no doubter. Elise, 432 feet, number 191. Happer cementing his legacy as a Cub.
And I mean, every time it just feels like he's moving on up that list, and this is one of those moments, and this is what I'm talking about. There were key swings and big swings. This was one of them, like you said, Cole, that tied up the game, and they needed it. And so, you know, that's what Hap can do.
Yeah, when you're sandwiched in 2 dudes who have black and white pictures for their historical landmarks, that's when you know you're doing something special. Ian Happ is a special player, and he is the longest tenured Chicago athlete in all of the city. But like we said, this was a tough one. It got away, and you know who it stings? The skipper. Here's Craig Counsell on the defeat.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a good baseball game. I mean, we're on the losing end of that one, unfortunately. You know, we've won a bunch of those at home this year. You know, it was a good game. You know, JMO, obviously the first 5 hitters, it didn't go well, and then he settled down, and I thought the next, really the next, 13 hitters, like bottom lineup, one time through the lineup, he was excellent. There was really no hard contact. Obviously the 2 walks got us in a little trouble, but we got out of it. And then kind of both teams' bullpens did a pretty good job. We got a big hit. We had a man on base when we got the big one. They had a single run. And then, it was just some good baseball and some, Kenley Jansen, you respect it because it's, he's the low heartbeat's not going to get him fired up, and he made some good pitches when it counted.
How's the trend?
Trent's got a left heel contusion. The X-rays were negative. I guess the heel's a little tricky on X-rays, so we'll have to see how he's doing tomorrow and see how he's limping pretty badly right now. So we'll see how he feels tomorrow. We have to do some more tests.
No concern with that's the same Achilles, right? There's
No concern with the Achilles, but apparently just X-rays with the heel are a little difficult to read.
What do you think the difference was with Jameson in those first 5 batters to the next 13?
Well, sometimes that's what that's the best time to get a starting pitcher is before they kind of settle into a game, and they did an excellent job of doing that. And they threw the first punch against Jameson tonight. He responded. They got 4 on the board, but he responded.
If you are without for a little bit, it's the mentality of it's almost like you're used to this in a sense. Mentality just the next man up. You gotta do what you can.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about that, but we'll probably have to make contingency plans here and see how he's doing.
Well, with the loss, the fellas now fall to 4 games below that 500 mark versus the American League. And Matt Harris, he knows the deal. Hitting the nail on the head. That is a surefire bummer. Win the next 2. That's all you can do. We told you the fellas, they're now 8-9 in series openers at Wrigley Field. And there's plenty more home series to go. But right now, the importance, it's focused on the next 2 versus these Tigers. A 2-run defeat courtesy of Detroit. We'll continue to tell you how it all unfolded, especially when it got to extras. That's what we're here for. This is Cubs Postgame Live.